Hello, wellness ambassadors. This is the conversation almost nobody wants to have until the day it suddenly becomes personal. Your breast health. And today we're counting down the top 10 super and healthiest foods that real research links to a lower breast cancer risk. Number 10 will surprise you, but number 1 is the food most women walk straight past in the grocery store every single week. Let me start with the number that should stop you in your tracks. Roughly 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. 1 in 8? That is not a statistic about strangers in some far-off country. That is your mother, your sister, your closest friend. It might be you, or it might be the woman you love most in this world. And here is what almost no one tells you clearly. Some of your risk is completely out of your hands. Your genes, your family history, simply growing older. Nobody gets to choose those. But a real, meaningful slice of risk is tied to things you touch every single day. Your body weight, your alcohol, how much you move, and above all, what you put on your plate. You are not powerless here. You have been told you are, but you are not. And I am not here just to frighten you. Fear on its own changes nothing. I am here to hand you the part of this that is genuinely in your hands, because that is where hope actually lives. Most people ignore the risk factors sitting on their dinner plate every single night. By the end of this video, that flips. You will know exactly which foods the research keeps pointing to and why they work. You'll know how to start using them at your very next meal. So let's talk about the part you can actually control, starting right now. But I need you to watch this all the way through, and here is exactly why. The foods that matter most are going to be different depending on where you are standing right now. If you are in your 30s and 40s thinking about prevention, your priorities are one thing. If you are postmenopausal, they shift. If you have already been through treatment and you are terrified of it ever coming back, they shift again. The single best food on this list actually changes depending on your situation, and I will tell you which one matters most for each of you. So do not click away. Number 1 is the one that surprised even the researchers studying it, and you will only understand why if you stay with me to the end. And you will only understand why if you stay with me to the end. I promise you this is not another lazy list of foods you have heard 100 times. By the end, you will understand the mechanism behind each one, which is the difference between forgetting this tomorrow and actually changing what lands on your fork tonight. Because here is the trap, and almost everyone falls into one side of it. Search foods for breast cancer online and you will find 2 camps, and both of them will fail you in opposite directions. The first camp says, diet doesn't matter, it's all genetics and bad luck, just get your mammogram and pray. And that is dangerously incomplete. Yes, get your mammogram, please. That part is not optional. Screening saves lives and nothing I say today changes that. But it is all just luck. Quietly ignores decades of research showing that what you eat is connected to inflammation, to your hormones, and to your body weight, every one of which is tied to risk. Then there is the second camp, and this one is even more seductive. It whispers, eat this one miracle superfood and you will never get cancer. That is a fantasy, and a cruel one. No single food is a force field. Anyone selling you a magic berry is selling you false comfort, and false comfort is how people get hurt. The truth lives in the middle, and it is far more empowering than either lie. There is no magic food, but there absolutely is a powerful pattern. Let me show you how it actually works, and then the 10 foods that fit it. Stay with me, because once you understand the why, every food on this list clicks into place, and you will never need another video on this topic. Work backwards with me. Much of breast cancer risk circles back to 3 things researchers keep returning to again and again. 1. Lifetime estrogen exposure. The more estrogen a body sees over the years, the higher the associated risk for the most common hormone-driven breast cancers. And here is the part that changes everything. Your gut and your fiber intake actually help your body package up excess estrogen and escort it out the door. Fiber is not just about digestion, it is about hormones. 2. Chronic low-grade inflammation and oxidative stress. Picture a slow fire and a quiet rust spreading through your cells year after year. Over time, that internal environment is associated with damaged DNA and conditions where abnormal cells are more likely to take hold. Many plant compounds, the deep colors and the bitter notes in vegetables, are studied precisely because they help cool that fire down. 3. Excess body fat, especially after menopause. After menopause, fat tissue becomes a major factory for estrogen. And carrying excess weight is one of the most firmly established risk factors you can actually change. So foods that keep you full and steady instead of spiking and crashing you on sugar and ultra-processed junk protect you twice over. So here is your one-line theory to carry through this entire list. The foods that lower risk are the ones that help clear excess estrogen, calm inflammation, and keep your weight and blood sugar steady. That is the whole game. Notice what that means. You are not hunting for one magic molecule. You are building an environment inside your body where abnormal cells have a harder time getting a foothold. Every food I'm about to name earns its place by doing at least one of those 3 jobs, and the ones near the top do 2 or 3 at once. That is the lens. Now, the countdown from number 10 up to number 1. Number 10, tomatoes, especially cooked. Everyone treats the tomato as a sandwich afterthought. That undersells it badly. Tomatoes are rich in a carotenoid called lycopene, and observational studies have linked higher carotenoid levels to lower breast cancer risk. Here is the sticky part most people get wrong. Lycopene becomes more available when you cook it, so a simmered tomato sauce can beat a raw slice. Use tomatoes generously. Just skip the sugar-loaded jarred sauces. Verdict, green check. Number 9, garlic and onions. It's just flavor, people say. Not even close. The allium family, garlic, onions, leeks, shallots, carries organosulfur compounds associated with lower cancer risk. One tip that genuinely matters: crush or chop your garlic and let it sit 10 minutes before it hits the heat. That rest lets the beneficial compound form. Rush it into a hot pan and you blunt it. Tiny habit, real payoff. Verdict, green check. Number 8, green tea. Dismissed as just a warm drink, but green tea is loaded with polyphenols, especially one called EGCG, studied for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, with some research suggesting lower associated risk. The evidence is promising rather than proven. Trade one sugary coffee drink a day for green tea and you remove a villain and add a hero. Verdict, green check. Number 7, berries. Berries get dismissed as just sugar, but berries are the smartest fruit you can eat here. Lowest in sugar, highest in fiber, and packed with flavonoids and anthocyanins, the pigments cooling that inflammatory fire. If you are watching your blood sugar, berries let you have your treat without the crash. A handful, not a bucket. Verdict, green check. Number 6, whole grains and legumes. Here is where people get it completely backwards. They chase exotic supplements and ignore fiber. Fiber helps bind and clear excess estrogen. Picture fiber as a cleanup crew marching extra estrogen out before it gets reabsorbed. The catch: this means intact fiber. Real beans and steel-cut oats, not stripped white flour. Verdict, green check for intact fiber. Number 5, leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard. People call it rabbit food, but they deliver folate and carotenoids. They are nearly free of sugar and calories. Chase the deepest colors you can find. Pale iceberg is mostly water, dark kale is where nutrients hide. Eat the rainbow, especially the dark green end. Verdict, green check. Number 4, soy in its whole form. This is the big myth buster. For 20 years, women were scared away from soy. It was wrong. The current weight of research actually associates moderate whole soy intake with lower breast cancer risk and better outcomes for survivors. The nuance: this means whole soy, edamame, tofu, tempeh, not heavily processed soy protein isolate. Verdict, green check for whole soy. Number 3, fatty fish and omega-3s. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies. The mainstream barely mentions them here. But the omega-3 fats, EPA and DHA, are among the most studied anti-inflammatory nutrients we have, associated with lower risk. 2 to 3 servings a week of clean, smaller fish is the sweet spot. Less accumulated mercury. Verdict, green check. Number 2, extra virgin olive oil. We have been terrified of fat for decades, but the fat you build your kitchen around may be protective. In a major Mediterranean diet trial, women assigned a diet rich in extra virgin olive oil had a notably lower rate of breast cancer. The key: extra virgin and cold pressed. Treat refined light oil as the imposter. Drizzle it raw. Verdict, green check, extra virgin only. Number 1, the food most women stroll right past, is the cruciferous family. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Why the crown? Because they hit 2 mechanisms at once, supporting natural estrogen-clearing pathways and calming inflammation. The secret: those compounds form best when you chop the vegetable and let it rest about 40 minutes before cooking. Boil it to mush and you lose it. For everyone else, eat them often, eat them barely cooked, and crown them the king of this list. Verdict, green check. the number one. Now here is the twist I promised, and it is the most important thing I will say all video. There is no such thing as a single superfood, not even number one. No berry, no pill, no green powder is a shield against cancer. What actually moves the needle is the whole pattern, a Mediterranean-style plate built from everything we just covered, paired with the 3 levers backed by the strongest evidence of all. Keeping a healthy body weight, limiting alcohol, even modest drinking is one of the clearest dietary risk factors for breast cancer. And staying physically active. Those 3 stacked on top of this list are where your real power lives. And the bonus that ties it all together, food is your offense, but it is never a replacement for your defense. Your mammograms and your doctor are on the exact same team as every food on this list. Eat the broccoli and keep the appointment. That is how you stack the odds in your favor. Not one or the other, but both together. I have watched too many people pick a side, the ones who trust only their doctor and treat their diet like it's irrelevant, and the ones who trust only their kitchen and skip the screening that could catch something early. Both are gambling. The women who do best refuse to choose. They eat like this list matters, and they screen like their life depends on it. Because in the quiet, invisible years before anything ever shows up, it just might. If this video helped you see your plate in a brand new way, you are going to love the next one I will link right here on screen. And if you truly want to master your health by understanding how your body really works, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a life-saving video. One last thing, and it matters. No single food prevents or cures breast cancer. The foods here are associated with lower risk in research. They are not a treatment and never a substitute for screening or your doctor's guidance. Talk to a qualified professional about your personal risk and your screening schedule. Take care of yourself, wellness ambassadors. I will see you in the next one.